Welcome back to Twin Cities Live. We're so happy that you spent part of your afternoon with us. This is Kelly Hansen.
Hi.
I adore her. She's one of our wonderful reporters, and she's filling in for Ben today.
Okay, attention, students.
Ooh!
Class is now in session. It is time for Twin Cities Live's Wine School.
This is the school I'm going to get an
Our
A in.
professor happens to be our wine guy, Haskell's Ted Farrell.
Ted is here. He's going to answer some of the questions that you posted on our Facebook page. Hello, Teddy. Are you pumped to meet Lindsay Whalen?
Yeah, it was totally cool. Being a born and bred gopher, that was just a highlight.
He was taking some pictures.
Starstruck.
And I lucked out. I'm wearing the maroon and gold bow tie today. A blind pig finds a truffle every so often, and I just do this so well. So
Very impressive. Well, now you're old friends. Okay, let's get the first question that comes from Greg. Okay, so here's what he's saying. With the looming tariffs in mind, what are some great domestic bubblies for $20 or less? People are very concerned about this. Do you have any inside information?
I do. Now, Greg, don't worry.
Okay.
Now, Trumpelstiltskin loves to scare everybody with all that stuff, and usually about 5 minutes later, it all goes away anyhow.
Okay.
But now there's some great domestic wines, whether it, you notice the champagne houses have all bought property in Carneros or in Napa or whatever. So there's a lot of great things, whether it's Piper, Sonoma, all these other Sonoma Valley, great champagnes. But the wine guy already beat the tariffs. I brought wine in already. I have another boat that's coming over in the next 4 or 5 days, which takes care of that, so we don't have to worry about any of those.
That's
so
good.
we get to enjoy a little French bubbly, and this is a brand new one. This is the Moingeon Cremant de Bourgogne. We've talked about Cremants. It's this sparkling wine from other regions other than Champagne. It goes through the traditional method of making wine, putting it in the bottle, adding the sugars and yeast, and then it combines with the alcohol to make the gas inside the bottle.
So good.
And so this is a Cremant de Bourgogne. They can't call it Champagne, but then again, it's half the price or even a third of the price of some champagnes. So it's a great little sparkler. And again, we at Haskell's took care of that. We avoided them. We already got stuff in, whether it's Proseccos or Champagnes or other bubbles.
Another boat's on the way. I love this.
And you might want to stock up. This has a really great flavor. It's like got a little bit of, like warmth almost at the end that I think is so nice. It's well-rounded.
It's brilliant. It's 100% Chardonnay, so it's a very approachable wine. Great sparkles to it, a classic bubbly wine.
It's not too much, though.
Yeah.
No, it's not over the top. Some champagnes, a little too yeasty, too much. This one's presentable. And so with the holidays coming up, don't feel bad to pour a little orange juice in that, make mimosas, because the price point's great. Yeah,
I was like,
what
holidays? Easter.
Mother's Day, Easter.
It's Kelly Day tomorrow, so she's going to put some orange juice in there.
All right, I've got another question for you.
Okie doke.
Here it is. This is from Kirsten. What is the white Merlot? What is white Merlot? And why do I like it so much?
Is it a thing? What is it?
White Merlot. Okay, now here's the hook. White Merlot, yes, it's a product out there. You see it made by a lot of domestic companies. It's all about rosé.
Oh.
And so they use the Merlot grape to make this pink style wine. So what we have now, there's the old story of white Zinfandel where they kind of crushed all their Zinfandel. They put it in the vat. The Merlot came to done, so they got it out and turned it, and all of a sudden they realized they had this pink wine.
Yeah.
That's how we make pink or rosé wines. You use a grape variety like Merlot. There's a misnomer that your purple grape, when you squeeze it, you get purple juice. It's not the case. You get white juice. It's the contact with the skins that pigments the wine.
That's right.
Now, I can't explain exactly why she likes white Merlot so much, but I can explain why you like rosé so much, because they're light, easy, pleasant wines to drink.
This is a boat wine
This
or
is
just
fun.
like a porch wine. Like, I feel very happy.
I do too. I love the pale color of it.
I do too.
But this is delicious. It also, what's nice about it is there isn't like a tart bite to it, which I think is nice.
Now, the French are masters of it. This is Domaine Fazi. It comes from Corsica. But what we did to talk about that, when you expose the different grapes or the skins to the wines, we brought the different expressions where you can see the Fazi, which is almost that kind of yellow onion skin pale coloration. And it goes all the way up to Tavel that almost you would think is a red wine. And that's all it is contact with the skins. So they'll crush those grapes and then they let the skin sit there, and that pigments the wine. So whether they do it with the Merlot grape, they can do it with the Zinfandel grape, Pinot Noir, whatever grape that the winemaker wants to use, that's what turns it pink.
Science.
That's the good stuff. That's really great. Okay, Professor Ted, here we go. Linda wants you to recommend a good kosher wine for Passover. She said, I know there are several available, but they don't usually compare favorably to non-kosher wines. Explain.
Kosher wines, quite simply, they have to go through a process in which there's no outside materials that are brought in, especially non-kosher items. They can't even use, if they're going to not distill it, but filtrate it, they can't use other products and things like that. Now, with that, there's all kinds of kosher wines out there, and I'm going to slaughter it, so please bear with me, Linda. It's the Haskell method, where the rabbi sits and watches everything from the beginning to the end, the crushing of the grapes and going through that. Now, many winemakers, even some of these other winemakers that might not be playing to the kosher market, are kosher, but they don't put the label on there. And now with that, you'll notice on the back of every label, there's the kosher for Passover symbol that they put on there.
I see it right there on the, kind of right next to the barcode.
Okay.
So the Chateau, the Barkan comes from Israel. They go through all that. It's terrific. I have a friend in Burgundy, Mr. Marchand, that goes through it. It's kind of funny. He calls it the Rebbe instead of the rabbi, but it's the Rebbe who comes in and does all that stuff, but he oftentimes doesn't put that on the label. And the crazy thing about that is I've had several customers, very affluent Jewish folks in town, where I bring in these great kosher wines. Hey, check this out. And they look at me and go, do you want me to die? And I said, what? Die? What? He goes, do you want me to be killed? If Aunt Pearl shows up and there isn't Manischewitz on the table, Passover's ruined.
Okay, well, maybe have a couple of options.
But this is a better deal. 100% Cabernet from
delicious.
Israel.
Yeah, this is delicious. That's good. That was really interesting. I would have never thought of that. That's great backstory.
Okay, I think we have time for one more.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll go with number 4. Ted, Mel wants to know if you are more likely to feel hungover from red wine.
Oh, gosh, Mel.
Mel, I don't know what you're doing, but you're probably drinking your wine too young. And that means it could be a very young thing. Wine has histamines. And generally speaking, when you are air quote hungover, now you can be hungover for too much consumption. I'm not saying that. But usually when people say, I drink red wine and I'm hungover, it's behind your sinuses. It's behind your eyes where you feel all this pressure.
Yep.
And that comes from histamines. Histamines is just a natural portion of wine, especially younger wines, because it got the oak aging. So what we can do, and we've talked about it in the past, where you decant the wines.
Yep, look at it.
And so we have a couple wines right here. Now this one, there was also another question: is it worth decanting a wine under $20? And it is, because this La Maqueline is a great little wine. But what we did is we have a decanter here, and this is kind of a fun decanter. All the guys in the stores will kill me because I think I only have about 10 or 12 of these left.
I love it.
So this is the non-aerated that I just
non-aerated,
tried, and this is the aerated. Same wine.
Yes.
And I did the opposite.
Yes.
And it's shocking, the difference.
And that's the whole kick. We have this fun aerator that has a little impeller on there. It's all done, whatever. It's fun. But all you need to do to avoid that hangover, aerate your wine. Even if you just pour it back and forth, dissipate the histamines, no sinus headache.
Oh my gosh, Ted.
Learned so much.
You are really something special.
Professor Ted, another message from our Facebook page we wanted to share. It comes from Jared. He says, Haskell's is the best wine retail company in the region.
We agree, Jared. We agree. You can see Ted and his team at any one of Haskell's 10 Minnesota locations, including Plymouth, Maple Grove, and the Highland Park neighborhood of St. Paul.
Thanks, Teddy. Next.